Hello everyone on YouTube and welcome back to the third part tutorial of how to model a text and logo and all this thing we trying to create. Now we find it kind of weird that we are opened with Photoshop and basically it's not funny at all. I decided to create an HDRI map somewhat file on my own. So the reason for that, again, those copyrights issue are freaking me out. You have no idea what I was, going through this day. It's like 24 hours that I'm just don't know if I will be able to recreate stuff just because of those nonsense, which are not nonsense. Okay, I do understand most of it and the reasons, but I think that for most video tutorials that I've seen many things, and a lot of people, stepping on those fault errors where they put some materials that it's not their own. But I'm not selling anything. I'm not, so it's kind of weird to get into these problems. Anyway, I'm gonna go over file, create a new file, and this time I will create it as 4K by 4K pixels. Okay, and click OK. Open this, and what I want to do, I want to go over the rectangle tool, which is here. If you click and hold on this, you will see many tools. We're interested only on the rectangle here, and if you press X on your keyboard, make sure you are set to English, because if you are using your native language, sometimes the hotkeys won't really apply to this. So pay attention when I'm clicking the X letter, this white will switch into black, okay? And if I will press again, it goes back and forth. So I'm changing it to black, and therefore the fill color here will also change accordingly. So I want a black material, and I want to create on top of my canvas a black rectangle. And then what I want to do is switch to white, back to white with X, and create 2 sets or maybe 4 sets of white rectangle, which right now it's not white, so I will change it to white, and I will create okay, it's creating another one, so we need another one, and you can duplicate those. So duplicate, right click, duplicate layer, move it aside here, hold on the shift, it will snap into this horizontal direction, and duplicate layer, click OK, and with your selection tool move it over here. So for 4 of them, I will select 4 of them holding down the shift, and okay, I can't do this, so maybe I will delete all 3. Right click, choose delete layers, click yes, and I will deal with this one. Go over effects, okay, and choose outer glow. In this outer glow, you will see this box and outer glow. Click on this outer glow to make sure you are on that section. Here you want to change it to white and click OK. Click OK, sorry. And you want to change the size. So pay attention to what's going on here. It's creating some kind of a glowing effect. Now I don't want this to be that much, and I want to add a little bit spread, and the opacity you want to change it to 100% so you won't have any lines there. Now with that done, you want to change the jitter into 100. Not sure what it does, but you can, okay, the range maybe like so. Let's see how it was. Okay, never mind. So just make sure it looks like this. Okay, click OK and duplicate this. duplicate layer, click OK, and move this one over here. Duplicate this one, duplicate layer, click OK, and move this one over here. So I'm creating like 3 rows of this, and the next thing I'm gonna switch to the rectangle here, right click, choose rasterize layer. Okay, so this will break it from being a smart object. With this done, you can come and create, take this Marquee tool, okay, rectangular Marquee tool, and just mark this area down here. If that's done, you want to go over the gradient tool, switch to black and white kind of a gradient like this one, and simply drag inside this area that you marked. So it will only append in this rectangle kind of shape. And here you want to maybe go and grab another one of those and duplicate this. Click OK, and we will move it up here. I need to shut this rectangle off, so I will click here, double click here on the canvas, and then I will switch back to the selection tool. So I hold this, Control T or Alt T, not sure how it goes in your operating system, and then you can modify this that way. So I'm gonna make some kind of a neon light here, neon lights here, and I think that's nice. Now I'm gonna create, I'll click apply, I will create another rectangle, but this time I will create it as black. No, sorry, this one I still want it as white, and this one I want it as black. And that black one, I will bring it here, Control T or Command T, and I'm gonna make it very small, like so. Okay, click apply and move this one over here that way, and duplicate this, click OK, duplicate this. I'm just adding more character to this picture, nothing more than that. And with that done, let's add some more white here. I'm gonna mark this area, okay, all of this area here, and I'm gonna change it to somewhat vinyl kind of color, which it's a little bit hard for me to get that color. So yeah, maybe like that. And I'm gonna change to brush, and make sure I'm on the rectangle layer, and I will simply change the brush size and paint this area with this vinyl kind of a brush. Okay, I think that this is more than enough. You can add a little bit more colors, I don't know, anything you like, but try to maintain dark colors maybe for colors, okay? I don't know. With that done, you simply go and click image, and I will try, I'm not really knowing what I'm doing, I'm just put it as experimental. I'm gonna add HDR toning, okay, to it. So HDR toning will flatten the document. Do you want to proceed? Yeah. So it will give me this weird kind of, this. And you can add presets, city twilight, or maybe monochromatic, or maybe, I don't know, photorealistic. Now, let's go with flat. No, let's go with something default and click OK. Never mind, it's already been done. Okay, so it's converting it to HDR image. Truth is, I don't have any such a clue or idea or whatever if this is really converting it to HDR image. What I know is that I'm going to save this as, I'm going to give it a name, so HDRI, and I will save it as TIFF. Okay, TIFF is the recommended for this kind of files. We don't have EXR here or HDR here, so TIFF is the correct one to select. Okay, it's also recommended in some websites, so be aware of this. Click Save. Choose I don't know, percha, low, interleave, leave it. Just click OK. Okay. Now, you may want to change this to 32 bits. So maybe I've done something wrong. Let's change it to 32 bits and save it as TIFF. Okay. So HDR TIFF, save, and yeah, I want to replace this. And yeah, 32 bits float. All right. Great. Now it's really saved as 32 bits. So if that's done, let's open Maya. Let's open my recent file, which is Maya 3D Art. Not sure, maybe this is the file. I'm already confused with everything I've done here. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so there is no light in the scene, and we already changed some of the settings for here, but I think that I do need to do this all over again with you. So common, render options, tick the enable default light off, go over indirect lighting, click on image-based lighting, click create. By the way, final gathering is turned on. Click create, and from this folder icon, click on it and add our HDRI TIFF and click open. All right, so if I will zoom out, this will be my HDR kind of light. Okay, you can make it smaller, but right now let's leave it as it is. Okay, I'm gonna add one more spotlight, one first spotlight to the scene, and I just want to see how it looks. Okay, so I'm gonna rotate this by holding the J so it will face down, and I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna scale this with this thing and then stretch it with this thing. Now if you can't stretch it with this handle here, that means that something in your here in those settings, tool settings, is wrong. So you want to double click on this one or the move one and make sure that the scale axis here under scale setting is set to object or world. But if it's set to local or normal, this what will lock this and won't let you change this. Okay, it's also applying to any other lights. Make sure you always on object, otherwise you won't be able to scale it in any way. Like like area light, which you do want sometimes to scale it to a proper size according to a window size, I don't know. So you do use all of the axes in order to scale it. So with that done, I'm gonna switch to move tool, put it just a little bit inside the ground, and making sure that my triangle here, this logo, is contained inside this in this cone of this spotlight. So let's take a first render with one intensity, cone angle of 40, no decay, and let's see what this will give us. Okay, so this is not bad. I do forgot something to tell you. Um, I did made something to the shader of the texture, and it was going over here, hypershade, and I did add a little bit of ambient to it, to this background shader. So you see the ambient color is a little bit there, and anyway, we will need to tweak this along this tutorial, so we will see about this. So with that light, what I want to do, I want to make sure that this light not affect this surface. So I will grab this light and this surface together, that way it's easy. Go over rendering here, light shading, and choose break light links. So when you choose break light links, that means that this light won't be able to cast light on this surface, but anything near to it or in front of it, it will. So you can also reverse this by clicking make light links if you choose both of them. But right now we're interested on break light links. So click on this and this will break the light links, means that we don't have this spot light casting on this surface. So you want to have this spot of light that you've seen here in this render, this one. It will only affect inside, what's going on inside. With that done, I'm gonna duplicate this one. No, I don't want to duplicate it because it's already with presettings. I'm not sure if it's keeping it on the duplicated items, so I will create another spotlight. And that spotlight, I'm gonna first rotate it that way. And I moved the other one a little bit like so, so I will bring them to be on top of each other, and I will scale it a lot and bring it up like so. So the cone, the end of the cone is touching the ground, even through it, and changing the cone angle to something more like 70, and it will contain also the 3D text here. See, inside the cone, and penumbra angle of let's say 20. I'm not sure about those values. They're always acting weird. So that one is a little bit too much close to the surface. I want to bring it over here and then stretch it with this handle of the scale tool, like so. Okay. Now for this light, I'm interested on changing the decay rate to quadratic and change the values here into 2000 as for start, and change the light color into something more of a bluish, like that. Okay, now my surface here is a little bit different than I thought it should be. So it's a biomaterial X, which we disable the reflectivity from it. So I'm gonna try and render this and see what will happen. So I'm gonna apply the frame here just to see that everything is contained in the frame and make a render. Okay, it's taking a little bit more than I thought, but until it won't finish, I wouldn't be able to determine what's going on here. So we will see in a second. You can already see that the 3D itself is not that glowing as the other elements in this picture. So we actually using the blue light in order to lighten this up. So it's glowing a little bit less, much less than the rest of those. And this is because it's using only the light that is casting on top of it, which is the blue light. So it won't really affect if I will add more light, more intensity to the blue, because the blue will still remain as blue and it will cast only blue color, but the intensity won't really affect because it's not a white color. And on top of these, it's pretty okay, but what's going on is that the texture here is really washed out, but the truth is that there is no much of a texture. It's just two colors that by adding white we are almost eliminating the transition here between them. Okay, so you add to a blue a little bit of white, which is the light itself, and it turns to somewhat bluish, not the same bluish, but almost the same. So it's reasonable, it's logic. And what's going on here, it's the same. You can also really see it here, which here you see a little bit of blue, but here it's all the same color. So this is kind of a problematic situation. So what we do want to do is also make sure that the background is a little bit more lightened than this. So I may want to grab this, okay, this light, and I want to turn it off by changing the intensity to 0. Now, it's just for now, it's experimental, so what we will do is going to go over create light and directional light, and with this directional light you can scale it and it won't affect the intensity. And I'm gonna rotate it that way, and I do want to change the intensity because I know that it's very high, to something like 0.6, and change the color to light and bluish, like so. Okay, like so. And I will try to render this, and first, maybe just at first, I'm gonna right click, grab this face, right click, choose this face, right click, choose this face, right click, choose this face, right click, shift, choose this face, and I'm gonna extract all of them from the entire case that holds them. Now the reason for that is because I want to treat them as a group, and the group that won't be part of it. So I'm going to extract this. I think it's only extracted from the other one. So let's just press G by selecting each of them. This face G, this face G. Again, G is using the last function, so grabbing this and G. So now we have all of those, all of those caps of our letters. Well, I'm not sure it's been selected. Not sure it's been extracted, basically. This one, F8 a few times. I'm gonna select this one, shift select this one, this one, this one, that one, this one, that one. I'm gonna open the outliner and make sure I'm taking them out of their groups. Yeah, this is going to be disturbing. So I'll try to just move them here, you see? And now I have this one. And yeah, let's grab this group and pull it up here between those, so it really will be a one stand group. And what have I done? no, like that, and like that. This, that, that. Not sure why this one is being selected, so this one shouldn't be here. Let's bring it there. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, those are group, and now I can select them as group and tell this light, sorry, this smaller light, whoa, not to cast any lights on them. So let's go over rendering and break light linking. So now they will only get light from the, right now from the directional light. Okay, let's try and render this out. Okay, now you can already see the changes, and you see that one of the letters is still washed by light, and this is because I forgot to grab this letter and break the light linking. Maybe I didn't extract this, I'm not sure. We will take a look in a second on what's going on there. But first of all, let's finish render this out. Okay, so the 3D is glowing much more because of our directional light, and the R, I forgot something to do with it. Maybe extract it, maybe, I don't know, something was confusing there earlier if you paid attention for this. And also the inner one, which still is not fixed, it's very glowing, and I don't want this to glow that much. So the glow that we have from the frame of this tunnel is enough glowing to make it glow, this area to glow, without making the material itself to glow. So maybe I will create another shader with the same texture, but making sure that that material is not with any ambient light to it. Okay, so here it's okay, that's fine. Okay, it's still same material, but in this case it's light linking with the smaller one. Okay, and I'm gonna grab this one, shift select smaller, smaller one. Right now we don't use the big one, just be aware of this. And I'm gonna break light links to it, and I also gonna grab this material, and I don't want to break light for it, I only want to change the material for it. So what I will do, I will go over polygons, window, rendering editor, hypershade, and this is pretty simple. You're gonna go over and create another Lambert, okay, and in this Lambert we're gonna add the same file texture that we use on this background. Okay, so let's find it. I called it background, as I recall. Open, and we call it background 2, this shader, and we're gonna apply this shader. One second, where is it? I'm gonna apply this background shader, background 2. Now it's a little bit weird. I name it as background 2 and it's Lambert 4, so I need to change the name here. 2. Okay, and I'm not sure what it was there, but now it's background 3 or whatever. At least it's background. We're gonna apply this to this backyard background, so assign material to selection, and that's fine. So this one is with ambient. This is same material, just without Lambert, so it won't glow that much. And also, maybe I don't want the directional light to affect that material. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the directional light and that surface, and I want to break the light linking, so rendering, light linking, break light linking. So it will observe light from the white color only, the white light. Actually, I had to do this the opposite way, but let's see what's going on. So the R letter has been fixed. Now at the inner surface of inside the tunnel, it's much more noticed that you can see the blue and the green, and they are not reacting like a one color. So this is also good. I think that one problem we have is that the background doesn't have any, weird kind of looking, I mean like pattern or something that can add a little bit more character to this texture. So if it really not too much of you to do, go over Photoshop, open that file, and you can simply come and let's say I will open this. Okay, that file open. I'm gonna open that background file, which is this one, open, and you can add some filter like liquify or some I don't know, let's add some character to it. Whoa, that's too much. Let's click OK, and with that done, let's go to filter and change it to maybe let's see, stylized. I want to add texture to it, so maybe texture. No, extrude, sharpen. There were some. Let's see the filter gallery. It's much more easier that way. We have the grain, those watercolor, no, cross satch, spatter, swimmy, sketch. We don't want to turn this to black and white. Maybe the sprayed stroke is good. Let's change the values to see the preview. Let's click OK. Well, I'm gonna add the liquify again. Distort, noise, pixelate. Where's the liquify? I'm gonna fix this issue here. Okay, I'm gonna liquify this even more. Oh, too much. Oh, now it's a little bit ugly, but I will add some pattern to this. Click OK, and you can also grab this lock, delete it by moving it to the trash, go over FX and choose not bevel and emboss but blending options, and here you will see the texture. So you see you can do something like that, which is nice, and click OK. And let's simply save this file, save as, or save, just save it. Ground, yeah, TIFF, whatever, or IFF, or Targa, or JPEG. I really don't care. Targa is okay for those textures. So save. At 24-bit is enough, even 16 bits. And with that done, we're gonna change the file to Targa, to that Targa thing. So we have background.tga and click open. And we need to deal with both of them, I guess. Rendering editor, hypershade. So this one has this background. Now we want to deal with this one and change it to Targa. Background, Targa. Click open. And let's see what will happen now. But it's already look bad. So what I will do is I'm going to grab this face, shift grab, right click, choose face here, grab this face and choose polygons here, create UVs and automatic mapping. Okay, that's much better. And this one, oh, they are grouped, so you can simply select the group. The R is not in the group, so let's select it also and go over edit UVs, create UVs, automatic mapping. Oh, it's only for that one. So edit UVs, create UVs, automatic mapping. Well, I do need to do this for each one of those. So I'm gonna grab this one, press F8 to bring it back to object mode, and just simply press G, because G is automatic mapping. Okay, I'm basically selecting those faces, pressing G to make sure that the automatic mapping is applied. Now something is wrong with, I'm like automatically assigned to editing mode, and I need the object mode, which editing mode is also good, but I don't know why it's automatically assigned to this. And this one is also, let's do this G and press F8, and let's take render and see, maybe it will look a little bit better than before. By the way, it's the first attempt to create this tutorial. It was easier. I don't know. I've made things straightforward, and it wasn't that complicated. And I feel a little bit weird doing this in other way, just because I'm not allowed to use those stuff that can make my tutorials, you know, legible to monetized. So I'm using my own stuff right now, and I need to deal with it. And they are reacting differently to the light setup, and it's really important to select and HDRI map that somewhat contribute to your scene in with the same colors that you're gonna use. Otherwise, sorry, otherwise it's just waste of time. You can tweak the light forever and it will never look good if the HDRI light is not really, you know, matching the same scenario or whatever colors you used in your textures. So I think that this is look pretty nice. I know that as for a straightforward tutorial, it's going to be a little bit tricky here because I've done things and I eliminated things like this big washed thing here. I'm going to delete it. So we only use directional light and spotlight. I will take you through the settings again for them. So this is 30 angle. I didn't add any penumbra, but I will add penumbra right now, and I will try something with you. So drop off of 1, and I want to change it to 0.7, okay? And also I do want to maybe turn this back on, the light leaking between the surface and this light. So let's go over rendering just for a second and make light links, and it will only affect the surface and whatever is still linked to it, but I want to get some nice light here, and it will supposed to, you know, merge with the bluish light in some transition, but this will be has highlighted. So let's see. Yep, it's doing pretty good job with that. Still the letters are not affected, so they won't be washed. Only the surface is washed right now, and I may want to reduce the cone angle in that, you know, it's very big cone and it really takes a lot amount of my background. I still want to have a little bit of bluish here, so 40 is a little bit too much. You can also see this, you know, physically. The light is, the cone light is much bigger than all this logo scale, so it's pretty obvious that it will cover all this area, but still it is nice. It is nice, and it's starting to touch my 3D letters. So in that case, if I still want this light to stay the same scale of the cone angle, I would like to eliminate the light linking between the 3D texture here, those two faces, okay, and this light. But I will try first make this 20, and the penumbra angle, I will keep it on 20, so it will, see, right now it's like covering also just the logo, and the penumbra will add a little bit more light radius for it, I think. So let's try and test it right now. It looks like it didn't much changed. Well, it did changed a little bit. Maybe the drop-off is unnecessary here, and maybe the penumbra angle should be 10 or something, 5, I don't know. Yeah, it's tinier, but we can bring this to 10 and 10. Whoa, the 10 looks like much more. So maybe 40 on 10. We shall see. Let's take another render. Okay, the penumbra, the higher is the value, it will grow. So I need it. It's growing. Yeah, it is growing. Sorry. Pretty weird stuff is going on here. Maybe I shouldn't have changed the cone angle. I stop this render and maybe put it on 30. And the penumbra on 40. And enter. Let's take quick render, IPR rendering. So I'm marking this area just to see what's going on here. All this area is white. That's bad. That's bad. I'm trying to reduce it by adding more values to those cone and penumbra, which basically this is the most stupid things I've done. Maybe because I don't really understand what's going on here. Well, it's washed. It's very washed, but it still looks good. So I'm gonna bring it to 5, and this one will be 15. 15 is much. Let's change the drop off to 0 and see what this will give us. Yeah, that's more what I was interested at. So cone angle should be same 5, and the penumbra angle will be maybe more or less. Not sure. But it looks good anyway. Still brought back a little bit of the bluish colors. But it looks like the light is very sharp, and I do want to add this drop off back. The drop off will make a transition a little bit better here. Let's try drop off of 0.5, and this will be 20, and this will be 8. 8. And let's see. Okay, after this I think I will wrap this tutorial, because I can do this forever. No, not really, not forever, but somewhat forever. Anyway, I think that it's a good result, and you just need to be aware of where the cones are sitting on top of objects that you don't want them to sit, but if they do cast on top of objects that you don't want them to be cast, just eliminate this linking by breaking the link, and do all those linking in a logic way. So the drop-off is somewhat okay right now, maybe a little bit more drop-off 1, and this sustained bluish, I just hope that it will glow. Yeah, it's glowing, so that's nice. And that's it for this tutorial. Now, I really hope that I won't get into conversation about this YouTube problems I had today. The last 24 hours were frustrating, and hopefully this is the last time you will hear me whining about those stupid things, which again, they are not that stupid. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, that you learned something, and how important it is to tweak lights and be a little bit more creative if Photoshop is the key, not to add more money to other people who take a little bit too much money, or I don't know, from materials that I don't think that they deserve them. I'm sorry to say those words, but this day was a little bit too much for me just because of a wallpaper. Okay? Anyway, you have a new wallpaper right now. Use it, and that's it. See you. Bye bye.